Hello everyone and welcome to the Animezilia, and today we'll be talking about Dr. Stone, episode 15 of the anime series. And this episode was amazing, fantastic even. The emotional aspect and the reaction shots were all brilliant from this episode. Animation was perfect throughout, and everything had its respective reasons for being great. So then, let's talk about it, shall we? First off, we have some Ginro comedy. And it pretty much always is comedy with Ginro's character. And it was crazy, wacky, and a whole load of fun to watch. We had these crazy fantasies of himself thinking he's going to become the chief, have lots of harems, have all the food, have Ruri as his wife. He's got all these kind of things going on, and this comes from a conversation with Ruri. He basically, I don't know if he's too kind of simple to understand reading between the lines, or that he just doesn't want to. But basically, Ruri says that she doesn't mind who wins, although it's obvious to us as the viewer that she wants Chrome to win. She's obviously just having a point and just kind of saying that, I don't mind who wins, honestly. But then, Kinro, with all of his weird and wackiness and craziness, he gets his just desserts with this image right here. Senku basically uses the helmet of science, or the glasses of science as they call it, and makes a seesaw and basically ends Kinro's existence and any children that he might have later on, if he ever manages to get a girl, I suppose. But there's one small thing I have to say about this. Now, because Chrome threw this helmet into the match, and Senku did technically use it to win, is that against the rules? But I digress. The reason why they probably didn't pick up on it or say anything was because the whole village was disgusted by Kinro and his kind of devilish kind of bad, not so good thoughts, if you know what I mean. Basically, his scum meter went through the roof, so much so that the village wanted an outsider to win. That's just how much of a kind of bad reaction and reception the village got from Kinro's actions and expressions and words. This whole first segment was pure comedy, and it was very good. Next, we get a bit more comedy with the whole Senku being crowned the village chief, because we think that because Senku's gone through, it's really easy. Chrome's going to become the chief, he's going to get Ruri, and that's it. However, Chrome is unable to continue. Therefore, Senku wins, becomes the chief, and has Ruri as his bride. And honestly, Ruri starts taking a turn for the worst here. So Senku's like, right, we've got no time to waste. This is brutal, so we're going to have to go now. Pick up the alcohol and let's run. But the village is like, you need to kind of party. So Senku's like, right, we're divorced. This got so many reaction shots from this part of the episode. So from Senku being crown chief to the divorce scene, there were some wacky, crazy expressions and reaction shots, and I loved every single one of them. These shots you see now up on screen are some of them, and they're all fantastic. I especially love the shot of Ruri being like stone cold and whatnot in the village after being divorced. I thought that was brilliant. And they are actually quite true to their characters. The animation and the art style perfectly illustrates the reactions. I've said it so many times now. Let's move on. So, like I said, this first half of the episode was mostly comedy with the Kinro section and the reaction from all the villagers. And what follows is a creation segment. So we see everyone from the Kingdom of Science basically manning together and making this sulfur cure, which I really do like because it shows off the fact that just because Senku is this really smart, intelligent guy, it's still a team effort, and it adds to the whole feel of the episode. Like, if Senku was on his own, he would not be able to do any of this. It's thanks to them all working together that they've managed to come this far, and finally they do create the drug to help Ruri. Now, there are a few things I want to talk about in this part of the episode. Now, one of them being the Gen section. And this comes in a form of, is it Suki? I can't remember his name. The old man. So I'm just going to refer to him as the old man, unfortunately. And basically, this part was actually pretty comedic. As we get Gen's reaction, and it was unfitting for Gen's character. After he rips off this weak old man's clothing, revealing his inner manly buffness. And I just love the fact that he's just like, come on, Gen, you won't leave a defenseless, helpless old man here. And he sees this and he's like, defenseless? Weak? Definitely not. This was actually really funny because I like Geen content. Geen is one of my favourite characters from this show. And just seeing this reaction is so out of character that it makes me enjoy it all the more. And it did make me laugh. I don't know what it is about buff men and old men in anime. It's just a weird trope that shows love to use, and it works effectively. The next thing I want to talk about is this bit. There is a shot of both Chrome and Senku holding up glasses with what look like their urine in. Yes, we saw last week's episode that they peed into a jar. But this shot right here looks like they're kind of showing off. Now, I can't be 100% sure if it is pee, but it does look a lot like pee in a jar, basically. So, this begs to differ, shows a little bit of immaturity from the two. It's like, right, we need the ammonia. Don't worry, Senku, I've got you covered. Here's some pee. Fresh, warm, and totally delicious. Ruri's gonna love it when she gulps this down. It was kind of silly and weird that I just wasn't able to process it a lot, but it was just, I don't know, it wasn't what I was expecting, put it that way. Next, let's talk about Ruri getting the sulfur drug, shall we? This image right here is 100% done on purpose. This shot was purposefully made to look seductive. I swear, as the image of Senku saying, this is exhilarating, and the image itself was made to go with each other. Because, the animators and the guy scripting it and putting it must have kind of thought, right, we need a bit of fan service, let's do this. And honestly, that's just the whole vibe that I got. It was different from what we expect from Dr. Stone, considering if we look at the amount of female characters that we've got in Dr. Stone, you've got Yuzuriha, which we haven't seen for a long time, Kohaku, which isn't, she doesn't flaunt very much. She's more of a tomboy kind of character. We got Suika, which, guys, come on, you don't want to do anything with that character. She's just a kid. And we've got Ruri, which obviously has been quite a mystery until now. All that we've known from this character is that she knows something, but we don't know what, and that she's ill. Now then, those are just a few of the talking points. Oh, actually, one more. I almost forgot. Gen in the cola bottle. That's right, Gen finally gets his cola. Now, his is a face of a happy man once he gets this drink. And I like the build up to this section of the episode, as we have Gen thinking that Senku was kind enough to be making this bicarbonated water while making the cure at the same time. But this is technically only half true, as we see Gen's face with a great smile in this shot, and it was just so satisfying to see, because he is a great character and he does deserve the praise, considering the amount of work he put in last week in helping Chrome beat Magma. So, rightly so, he gets his cola, finally. Now, this next part of the episode becomes a bit more serious, because we have Ruri taking the medicine, and she turns for the worse slightly. As it turns out that Ruri has fluid in her lungs. And if she has, right, before I say it, I need to make certain that, I don't get this wrong, which I'm 100% gonna get this wrong. So, I would attempt to say the words and they'll spell it out for you so you can actually know what it actually is. So, it turns out she has Plumary. That is Pulmonary. Now, I'm probably pronouncing that horribly wrong, and it's just it. Doctor Stone is a series that I love watching, but sometimes I feel dumb because I can't pronunciate or I don't understand what's going on. I sometimes feel like some of the characters when Senku is off waffling about sciencey stuff, and that's kind of like a joke, but it's not. Now, so she has that, which is a tuberculosis, which is tuberculosis. It's Tuberculosis. And if the enemy they are facing is a tuberculosis, the word I just spelled, germ, then they have no hope of saving Ruri. And the reaction shot that we get from this is fantastic. When the crew get told this, Kohaku looks devastated. She's worried, she's scared. So is Chrome. And this is brilliant because they've spent half a year creating this. And Senku's like, might work, might not, depending on what she actually has, Gen is looking kind of worried, but she doesn't have that emotional attachment to Ruri than what Chrome and Kohaku does. So his reaction is still a bit kind of uncertain, but it's, it's justified. You can't say Gen's a harsh character because he's not showing fear. He's just, he just doesn't know Ruri as much as everybody else does. So, it turns out that the disease that Ruri has is pneumonia. Pneumonia. Again, I can't pronounce the word, but hopefully me spelling it will help you understand what I mean. Which means that although it is a deadly disease, the drug that Senku gave him will 100% destroy it. And it takes a repeatedly sort of dose of this sulfuric drug to basically work his magic. And I love the fact that they do this because it makes it it makes the whole year and a half, the half year that they've been working on it, that much more meaningful. They've spent all this time and finally they're getting something worth it. Honestly, this whole segment was great. As like I said, it shows the fear within the characters as they learn about the possibility of not being able to save Ruri, and the fact that Ruri took a turn for the worse before getting better added to the whole dramatic feel of it. But in the end, we can't take it away. It's a victory and a win for science. Now, I will say one thing real quick. This image right here, I don't know why, but Senku's face reminds me of All Might from My Hero Academia. It just it just kind of reminds me of All Might's face. Just gonna say it. But another thing about the fear thing. Ruri's father actually threatens Senku because he is weary of the kind of science that Senku is pumping into his daughter. Awkward phrasing. But, he's actually a fearful father. And I like that because it shows his reaction as well. And honestly, I just found it really satisfying to watch. Now, the cliffhanger to this episode wasn't really that big of a deal. We had the main issue sorted in this episode. And the cliffhanger was Senku's reaction to hearing the name of the village. It turns out the village is called Ishinami Village, which is the same surname as Senku. So what does this mean? I have no idea. We'll have to wait until next week to find out. But overall, this episode was amazing. It felt like a season finale episode. And I'm glad it wasn't. Because if it was a 12 episode series and this was episode 12, this episode would be rushed. But this episode was far from rushed. It was basically allocated the right time, and they kind of dragged it out long enough for it to feel like it was a good effort. We see Senku being the brains and telling everyone how to do it. We see the group working together over the current season. And we see Kohaku's efforts. We see Chrome's efforts from all these years. We see the dedication and the passion and the drive to help someone throughout every member of the team. We see how science can change people's lives in this village. And the fact that it wasn't rushed and we see it perfectly in this episode, for me, was fantastic. I loved the fact that they did this. And I love the fact that it wasn't just Senku kind of going on his own. And I love the fact they addressed the fact that Kohaku played a massive, massive role in saving her sister's life. Because before Senku even arrived to the village, remember Kohaku went to the spring, collected water, and carried it back so Ruri could have a bath in the hot, clean water. This basically slowed down the progression of the virus that Ruri had, making Ruri survive long enough for Senku and the Science Nation to basically come along and save her. This is great because everyone has time to shine, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they go about the next couple of episodes. So, if you've enjoyed this episode, make sure you smash that like button down below. If you've enjoyed the review, I'm glad as well. Now, let me know all your thoughts on this episode. What did you think in the comment section down below? If you haven't watched it already, I would 100% advise you to go and watch it. Because, like I said, Ruri has been saved, and we see just how much hard work and dedication has gone into saving her. And the payoff is massive. So there we have it, everyone. That's my review for episode 15 of Dr. Stone, the anime series. Like I said, smash that like button if you did, subscribe if you're new so you never miss a video from me, and until next time, I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye for now.